Time to take a look at our livestock trade today with livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted. And Kyle, we saw, a down hard day yesterday after Trump's announcement of fixing the cattle market, and today we seem to be recovering. Tell me what you make of the recovery we're having today.
Well, we've got a modest recovery going on here, as you mentioned here. We've got September feeders up 227 here at 353.97. October up 92 cents here at 350.85. Now the deferreds are lower. November down 37, January down 95, March down $1.37, April down $1.42. What that tells me is we saw non-commercial liquidation, and I can point that out pretty obviously here when you look at the open interest changes here. Feeder cattle open interest yesterday down 508 contracts on 36,000 volume, and live cattle open interest down 8,200 cars on 141,000 volume. So definitely some non-commercial selling there. They've bought September, sold October, bought October, sold November, and bought November, sold January. So they are picking her up here by the front here, and that's where a bull market needs to keep wearing. It's on the front. Now, do I think this market is going to completely fall out of bed? No, unless this cash market decides to really get crazy and just pull the rug out from underneath it here, and the buyers just step away completely out there in the country. On the live cattle side of things here, I do think we could be in for a little bit of a rocky go here if this cash market, especially cash this week so far as the live cattle, has been weaker. This morning we saw 235 bid on the Fed Cattle Exchange here, offers at 242 to 243. Those were all southern cattle there, and there were no trades. We had some majors here in central Nebraska bidding 235. We had some majors out there in western Nebraska bidding 237. And on a dress basis, that same major is bidding 375 here in eastern Nebraska.
Thank you, Kyle. That is Kyle Bumsted, our livestock market analyst. You can call him at 308-708-7340 to talk about the livestock markets. You're listening to the Rural Radio Network.
This September, we continue the Rural Radio Network Roadshow across Nebraska as we broadcast live from towns, businesses, and ag operations that make Nebraska agriculture strong. Tune in right here for interviews, stories, and behind-the-scenes access, all from the places and people who grow, build, and lead our rural communities. On the air, online, and all across Nebraska, it's the Rural Radio Network Roadshow.
As the leader in bovine respiratory disease solutions, Zoetis knows you need every edge you can get in your fight against BRD. That's why our solution's active ingredients include Josh, and James, and Amy, and Beth, and Mike, and 100+ more professionals with top-of-the-line expertise to keep your cattle and your ROI healthy. Visit ZoetisUS.com/BRD or talk to your veterinarian to get started.
Good morning. I'm Lacey Shippey, live from Husker Harvest Days here in Grand Island with your market report. And we are here in the Rural Radio Network booth. Make sure you swing on by and say hello. Trade is looking mixed today, obviously positioning before Friday's WASDE report. The expectation is for that report to show a modest decline in yield with reports of rust and dry weather, but still a huge corn crop, nearly 16.5 billion bushels. Grains are also finding pressure coming from tariff threats from the Trump administration against India and China to halt their purchase of Russian oil. The weekly ethanol report showed production up by 30,000 barrels per day, with stocks up 200,000 barrels on the week. Soybeans are lower. A modest slide in supply is expected on Friday's report. The big question remains demand. They're also still waiting on some key biofuel decisions from the EPA. Wheat continues to chop along the lower end of the range, and cattle futures are mixed with some quiet support from technical buying, giving us some modest gains after yesterday's liquidation. December corn is down 2.5 at 417.25. March down 2.25 at 435.25. November soybeans down 5 at 1026.25. January down 5 at 1045.5. December Chicago wheat down 3 3/4 at 516.5. March down 3 3/4 at 534. Kansas City December wheat down 2.5 at 507 3/4. March down 2 3/4 at 528.25. October live cattle are up 82 cents at 231. December up 152 at 232.70. September feeders up 247 at 354.17. October up 110 at 351.02. December lean hogs are up 50 cents at 88.35. February up 15 at 90.37. And Class 3 milk for October is down 24 at 16.68.